Right, this is our next project. It's a pine kitchen wall shelf unit. Quite a country style to it, a country feel. Painted it this sort of duck egg blue, I think it's called. Couple of shelves and some pegs underneath. There you go. It's got, can you see under there? There we go. It's got Craig pocket hole screws in. I've done a full video on the Craig jig that I have in my shed, so you might want to check that out as well. I've made about 3 or 4 of these over the years. We've got another one here. This one's slightly smaller. The one we're going to make today is roughly part way between the two of these. I think this one's about 33 inches wide. The one we're going to make is just under 28. The height is 29 inches. You need to make it 29 inches so that it matches up with, so that the cornice top matches the cornice top on your kitchen units. And there, I think kitchen units are around about 29-30 inches deep. So there you go. That's our next project. A pine kitchen wall shelf. These are the timbers we're going to be using. Like I said, it's redwood, softwood, planed all round. This is an architrave. This will go around the top. These are 6x1s. This will be for the main carcass and the shelves. I say a 6x1. It actually finishes 5 3/4 by about 7/8. And the back part of it is going to be from 1/2 inch by 4 inch VT&G. First things first, I need to trim all these boards square. Both shelves and the top hidden piece need to be 710mm long, so that's the first cut. The side pieces are 740 long. So I've just traced out a form here, copied around this, because I'm making quite a few of these, and I use these on a router table with a bearing cutter, just to give it a nice smooth edge. Just trace around that, and now I'm going to cut those on the bandsaw. This is my setup for putting pocket hole screws in. I've made another video just about this jig and the way it's set up in the bench, so I'm not going to go into details. It's quite straightforward, so let's get on with drilling it. So that's our 12 holes drilled. Because we're going to have a backing piece on our work of this stuff, VT&G, these shelves need to be slightly shallower, about 1/2 inch shallower than the side pieces. So the next job is to trim just a slight bit off the back of these. Fortunately, I don't have a spindle sander, so all my sanding is done by hand. So this is the outside of the side frame, and that's the inside. So this is the side that's going to have the cut. It's going to be around about 4mm deep, and the shelf will start here and finish here. So the cut is going to be from where the first shelf starts, right the way to the end. So let's make that cut. Forgot to mention earlier, there is one more piece, as well as the 3 shelves. At the bottom, where the curved form is, you need a backing piece, because that's where the pegs are going to go. This is going to be the VT and G from this part forward, but from there below the bottom shelf we have one more piece that's got the pocket hole screws, and that just fits like that. So I've got this piece clamped down. I put a small amount of glue on there, and now I'm going to put some of these pocket hole screws in. Quite unusual, these screws. I don't know if you can see there. They've got a square drive section rather than a posi or a cross bit. They've got a square drive, but very effective. Let's put 2 of these in. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now it's exactly the same method for the shells. This is going to go there. Pocket screws are going to be on the underside. You'll not see me fasten those. So it's a dab of glue on here. Doesn't need that much, because the screws do all the work. And then we mount that like that. So we've got it all drilled, screwed and clamped up. I've made sure that my 2 diagonals from this corner all the way up to this corner are the same, which guarantees that it's square. So I'll leave that to dry now, let the glue dry, and then we'll put a back on it. So that's the next job. So we've now got the main carcass built. The next piece to go in is the decorative mould at the top. The piece sits in there, and it's going to have a scalloped edge all the way along and a hole right in the centre, just where my thumb is there. So I'll create a pattern and we'll cut that out with the jigsaw. Here I've created a centre line. Just used a tin to draw around for the larger circle. That's the centre line for the 1-inch hole, and then I've just drawn a simple scroll down this side. And to make it even on this side, what I'll do, once I've cut this out, I'll use this scrap piece over on this side, and I'll draw around that, and it'll give us one even design. So that piece is now cut out. Flip that over, put that on there. With my pencil, just draw around this, and now we've got a mark and an equal pattern. So that's the piece fully cut out. All we need now is a 1-inch hole, drilling right through the centre, and it's ready to be mounted. The trim finished, and that's mounted the same way as the shelves. 2 pocket screws, and there'll be a bit of glue as well. Next is the cornice. This is just mitered 45 degrees at the corner and glued and pinned. So that's the next job. So we've now got the cornice on. I've left the tails on there. They can just be chopped off later. It's more or less finished now, apart from the back and the 4 pegs. The back's pretty straightforward, it's just VT and G, this stuff. If you look at the section, tongue and groove with a chamfer here and a chamfer here, which gives it the V groove, and that'll just be mounted at the back behind there, and that'll be not glued, that'll just be pinned on. So I'll get those on, and then we've just, like I said, the pegs. That's the 4 pegs fitted. We're nearly there now. So we're more or less at the final stage now, and we're just going to be putting these boards on. The important thing about when you're putting backboards on like these is not to glue them. All we're going to do is fasten them with a nail gun. So I'll show you that in a second. So that's our piece complete. About an afternoon's work, and maybe 20 quid, $30 or so in timber, softwood timber. Okay, so that's this project complete. Our next project is going to be an hour's work. So watch out for that project next.